Today we'll talk about what I have learned, what are the key takeaways that I have understood in 11 years of mentoring students in preparing for group discussions. Okay. So broadly, if you look at group discussions as a parameter for selection, as a process for selection, there are various indicators, there are various factors that a panel looks at when they assess a student in a GD, right? One of the most important parameters is your knowledge of the given topic. And to make it may sound very surprising to you, but most GD topics can just be summarized in a few categories. And broadly, I'll talk about 6 categories today. So some GD topics which appear in the first category, which I like to call the economic issues. These are GD topics which are centered around current economic issues of the day. For example, in India today, you could have a GD topic which centers around the current slowdown which the Indian economy is facing. Or for example, the interest rates and the inflation correlation that we are seeing in the Indian economy today. These could also be global economic topics. For example, the US-China trade deal, right? The second category of topics that you're likely to face is topics related to the education field, right? For example, you might talk about the failure of primary education that we're seeing in India today, right? Or that for that matter, how management education and technical education today, more and more companies are complaining that the engineers and the management graduates that are appearing don't really have the business skills that they require. The third head of topics that you could see in front of you are what we call socio-cultural topics. These are topics related to the social environment existing in the country today. For example, Sabrimala. This could be a GD topic in front of you today, right? Or if you're looking at preparation for the current year interviews, the issue of Jallikattu has come up again this time around. So these are topics which may come in front of you. Other topics like the triple talaq, or for example, the case of secularism as it is being a threat in India, these could appear in front of you in a GD. The fourth category of topics is what we call the philosophical and abstract topics. Now, these are not topics related to current affairs per se. These are topics which actually are open to your interpretation. For example, the GD topic that you could get is zero. Now, this is a topic which could be interpreted by one student in one way and another student in another way, completely different way. And so these topics demand a different type of group discussion, right? Another type of GD topics can appear in front of you in terms of science and environment. Now, these are topics which relate to topics like the changing climate, right? Whether it is the wildfires in the Amazon in Brazil, whether it is the bushfires in Australia, whether it is the climate change that Greta Thunberg talks about, or whether it is the air quality that we see dipping in Delhi every year in India. These are topics related to the climate and the environmental scenario. Also, there may be topics related to science here, right? For example, the way science is progressing in terms of India's space research programs, right? So that's the fifth kind of group discussion topics that you can expect. And finally, you may expect group discussion topics related to management, right? A very important topic for you to prepare would be on corporate governance in India. Given the issues that Infosys and Tata Sons have recently faced, which you may have heard about, corporate governance is a very big factor that we look at in India today. Also related to this is the case of business ethics, on how ethical businesses are and how ethical should they be. Capitalism versus socialism. So all these topics are related to business management and the way companies run. So these are the different types of topics that you can face. So broadly, most GDs would appear in these 6 topic heads, these 3 categories of GD topics. However, knowledge about these topics is not the only factor that you have to look at when you're preparing for group discussions. Also very important to know is that your communication skills in a group discussion are tested very, very strongly. Your individual communication skills as well as your ability to communicate in a group as a member of a team. These are also very important parameters on which you are judged. So keep learning more. If you understand all of this, you will definitely perform better in your group discussion.
If you want to learn more such tips and fundas, join the GD VAT and interview prep course by Hitbullseye. Link in the description box. If you like this video by Hitbullseye, please do share and comment, and please do subscribe to our channel.